Let's look at the math behind why net worth explodes after the 100K mark. Let's say you begin investing with 10K at about 8% annual return and you invest for 7 years. You will have 100K in your name after those 7 years. But this is where the fun just begins, because to get to the next 100K, which means your portfolio value to be 200K, you need only another 5 years. And if you kept investing 10K every year for the foreseeable future at 8% interest, even after that, the next 100K, meaning for your portfolio value to reach about 300K, would take you only about 3 years. The following 100K takes about 2.5 years, the next 100K takes about 2 years, and from that point forward, it just takes lesser and lesser and lesser time. So by 28 years, you will have a portfolio that'll be about $1 million worth. So this is really counterintuitive, because most people would think that to get to the 100K, if you need 7 years, to get to $1 million, you will need 70. But actually, you just need 28. And if you were to invest more aggressively, say instead of saving and investing 10,000, you invested 20,000, your first 100K takes about 6 years, the next 100K takes about 4 years. You get the gist. You'll get to the $1 million mark faster if that's what you wanted to do. And this is because of the math of compounding. Initially, you start with a small amount and then it becomes a snowball. It keeps gathering snow as it rolls down the hill. And then, like with a snowball down the hill, like gravity does its magic, in our case, very much like gravity, time does the magic. So think about it this way. As the snowball gathers a little more snow, it becomes a bit heavier and gravity pulls it. And it becomes a bit heavier with another round of snow and gravity pulls it. And like that, by the end of its life, the snowball is so big that gravity just does the magic. Similarly, with our savings, if we put in the habit of saving a little every month or every year, that capital acts like snow. It gathers a bit, and then a bit more, and then time does the magic, and time makes your money snowball move faster. Yet, when I look at net worth by age, I get really disappointed, because when I look at UK adults below the age of 35, I find that only 7% have more than 100K in savings. You could argue that, well, below 35, people are just starting off their careers, so it's very likely that they wouldn't have more than 100K in savings. But let's look at 35 to 45. That is your prime age when you want to save and invest more. And yet, we find only 11% of that cohort have actually got more than 100K in savings. If we look at the numbers from the US, we saw a great result coming out, which is the US average saving increased from $16,000 to $39,000 between 2019 and 2022. This is great news, apparently. However, when you deep dive into the numbers, you realize that average savings for that same cohort of 25 to 35-year-olds is $183.5 thousand. This should be good news, right? Not quite. And that's because average is just an average. What we want to be talking about are median incomes and median savings. And when I look at US median savings below the age of 35, it's about $39,000 per year. So the average is $183.5 thousand and the median is $39,000. That just shows you how unequal the salaries, savings, and everything are. And there are a few high earners who are probably saving significantly more and pulling the numbers up for the average. But when you look at the median, you get the real picture. And this is why I want to spend a lot of time talking about how to get to your first 100K. Because if you remember Charlie Munger, bless his soul, he passed away recently, he said that the first 100K is but you have to do everything you can to get there. Obviously, everything legal that you can to get there. But this is why you want to do specifically 3 things to get to your first 100K. Firstly, earn more money. People are not talking enough. I don't believe it. People are still not talking enough about earning more. people who are saving the 183K, they very likely can save that much because their incomes are 500K a year. And if your income is 500K a year, of course you're saving that much. But if your income is 50K a year, you will find it a struggle to save consistently. And this is why we want to focus on earning more. I've said on this channel multiple times, the best way to earn more money is actually get a higher paying job. If you are interested, we are hosting another free live job search workshop, link in the description below, and I'll see you inside. But start earning more money. That is absolutely fundamental. The second thing that you want to do is keep your lifestyle inflation to a minimum. So you want to save more, you want to find ways to enjoy life without necessarily splurging. However, you also want to reward yourself on the way to your first 100K, because if you just keep on saving, you will have no motivation. Your brain just doesn't get the reward and the serotonin and the dopamine for actually doing the hard work, because getting to your first 100K, let's be honest, will be a lot of hard work. So let's also make a habit of having some awareness around our spending, not just cutting back on our coffees or cutting back on our Netflix subscriptions. We want to be mindful about where we want to spend money, so that when we are spending money, we know that we are spending money on the things that bring us most happiness. And the third thing we want to do is be a bit clear about what accounts we save our money in. Be more tax efficient. Of course, the more you earn, the more the government will tax you. And I am not anti-taxes. In fact, I believe that as we earn more income, it is our duty, our civic responsibility to share the love around. However, it is not about being foolish and paying more than you need to pay in taxes. So put your money in tax advantaged accounts like the ISA in the UK or the Roth IRA 401k in the US. And remember, even if you are starting small, even if you can't afford to save $10,000 a year, start with $5,000, start with $1,000. If you can't even afford that, start with £5 a month. It's about building the habit. And as you build that habit, you can gradually increase the amount and then increase the amount further and further and further, because this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and therefore we want to have the right foundations in place. And if you are curious about the skills that I use to earn more money, I'll link up a video here. And if you enjoyed this, please do consider subscribing. I don't believe that over 80% of you are not subscribed to this channel. So I would really appreciate you subscribing, leaving a comment below if this resonated, and a like. And I'll see you the next time. Bye.